Hello, thank you for watching. My name is Neferititi, and you can find me on the web at onebodywm.com. I am a spiritual life coach and mind-body instructor, and my Instagram links are below as well. So this is an energy update for the week of June 24th, and this is the week before the eclipse season begins next month. And we also have Mercury retrograde next month as well, but I will talk about that in another video. We're also ending the 12th moon cycle on June 26th. If you follow the law of time calendar, which is actually how time is really existing, I guess. That's the natural time cycle that the calendar that the Mayans followed. We're ending that cycle and we're moving into the 13th moon cycle, which is about self-mastery and really getting the lessons, right? So this whole year has been about like purging, releasing, clearing, growing, aligning ourselves with our soul mission and life purpose. And Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node in Capricorn has been helping us with that. We know that Saturn rules time and all things physical. Pluto rules death and rebirth and transformation. Pluto also rules the underworld. And I also like to think that Pluto kind of facilitates the dark night of the soul, or dark nights of the soul, because I feel like if you're going to be a good teacher, you're going to experience many dark nights of the soul. This is all in Capricorn, and the South Node is where we're not to go anymore. The South Node is what we're supposed to be leaving behind, okay? And this energy is conjuncting this eclipse, so we're probably already feeling this on some level, but this is a good time to make shifts, changes, okay? And it's helpful that we remain open and receptive to the changes, calling on our angels and guides and asking them to heal and transmute any fears that might come up with changes and the unknown. This is also a good time for spring cleaning. If you missed it in the springtime, you can do it now. What I've been doing is just choosing one room or one area a day and focusing on that for maybe 30 minutes to an hour and just cleaning for that whole time. And then when the timer goes off, I stop and then I move on to the next thing. And you can do it this way, or you can clean up your whole house in one day. This works best for me because I have other things I have to tend to. I have a son, and so that's how I've been doing my purging, releasing, cleansing. It's just dedicating 1 hour or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever amount of time I have per day, and just getting it done, okay? You know, it's interesting because I've been listening to other energy reports, and a lot of what I've been hearing about this week is like very scary and negative, and we're going to have all these moments, and that might be true, but I had to ask myself, what if I decide not to finance those thoughts with my energy, right? What if I decide to see that as, okay, this is that person's perspective, right? Challenges do not have to be a bad thing. Will it make you uncomfortable? Yes. Will you be tempted to maybe get into a little victim mode for a second? Yes. But it doesn't mean that you have to like write off the whole week, okay? We might have things pop up here and there, but that's good. We need these things to show us where we are not aligned, where we're misaligned, where we haven't mastered ourselves yet, because that's what Pluto's energy is about, is revealing to us the areas that are decaying, that are no longer relevant, right? And so we keep trying to make these things work. Relationships, job situations, living situations, whatever it is. And Pluto was like, I am trying to bring you something totally brand new, but you've got to let this die first, okay? And we're so afraid of death on so many levels. That's a whole nother subject. But mostly it's fear of the unknown, right? And that's a huge lesson for a lot of people this year, is not being afraid to step out of your comfort zone, not being afraid to embrace the unknown, because how else are you going to learn to trust? How else are you going to develop your trust muscles unless you're in a situation where you are forced to trust, right? And I hate to use the word force, but that's the better alternative as opposed to being in fear, because all you're going to do is attract more of that energy to you, right? And it's not an easy thing to do. It's not, and we're looking for easy with this ascension process. Some of us, we're looking for, and that's another thing that I hear a lot of energy readers, not a lot, some of them, well, everything is love and light and drop into your heart and just do all these kind of things. But if you're dealing with an acute problem and you're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Some of that sounds like real bullshit, okay? What's gonna help us really is taking action, guided action. We ask for the guidance and then we take the action, no matter how uncomfortable it is, right? And I struggle with this too, but that pride, that ego, all of that is being exposed right now for what it really is, a block, a hindrance. Because if you're not able to step out of that energy of self-preservation and ask for the help that you need, then how are you going to move forward on your journey? The universe has already said, if you're serving your soul mission, your life purpose, I will support you. Okay? That's what all the synchronicities are about, the angel numbers or whatever you want to call them, all of these signs. That's what that's about. Okay? Is that I'm giving you the guidance. You need to trust it and follow it. I'm going to give you breadcrumbs. I'm not going to give you the whole picture, the whole thing, because if I did, you would not be able to handle it, right? I mean, that's why most people don't win the lottery, because they're usually worse off than they started, have nothing to show for it, right? So anyways, I'm digressing, but that's a good example. So decide when you are listening to energy reports, even mine, if there is something that is given to you that's putting you in a state of fear, you need to be mindful of that. And don't accept that if you don't want that in your field, if you don't want that to be a part of your life. You get to decide what it is that you finance your energy with. Nobody else gets to decide that for you unless you give them that power. And that's another aspect of Pluto, is power struggles, right? And that's a huge power struggle that we've probably been going through for most of our lives, is deciding this is what I want to do. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm not going to feel the way you want me to feel. This is how I feel. This is what's going on with me. That's a very basic, power struggle that people go through. And I feel like that's being dissolved, because it's not the foxes that ruin the vine. It's the ants, those little things that build up over time, right? That degrade our self-esteem, that make us question all the time who we are. What the fuck are we doing? What am I doing? And then we're looking for answers outside of ourselves. And it's our conditioning, but that is old school, okay? We're moving up in levels, and we have lots of other tools available to us to use, but we have to ask for that guidance. So these old patterns and fears are coming up for healing, for integration, for dissolving, for release. Okay? So don't be afraid to face whatever's coming up and say, you know what? I'm taking my power back. God, goddess, angels, guides, ancestors, what do I need to know about this situation? What is it? What can I do right now immediately that will, number one, shift my vibration? Because I know if I'm in a low vibration, I can't manifest. And what can I do to take the next step in the right direction? Okay? A lot of this energy that we're dealing with too is related to the money and materialistic things. I mean, I've seen so many YouTube channels get demonetized over the past weeks. I'm on Instagram. I have a couple of yoga and fitness accounts, and I've seen some of my yoga friends get their accounts deleted or shadow banned. And I mean, a lot of these people, this is their primary source of income. They've been working at this for years and years, right? So, I mean, this is a part of I believe, in my spiritual opinion, that this is a part of the cabal too, a part of the Illuminati, the dark ones, trying to censor people, trying to censor light workers, people that are trying to help humanity awaken, okay? And this could happen in a variety of ways. It might not be that you or another person gives energy reports. It could be that somebody sees one of my yoga posts and reads the quote and it triggers something in them. Or they see another post and it triggers something in them, right? Because they're all steps in that direction. So whatever they can do, and this is kind of their last stand anyway. We know that a lot of this stuff is being exposed. A lot of the darkness is being called back to the light, right? Or they can no longer exist. So you take that for what it is. Some of us too are starting to come out of hermit mode. We maybe have had a period of isolation, and that could be from friends and family. And I think that a lot of us are starting to come to a place of acceptance, at least. You know, we're not like maybe, oh, I love you and I'm sorry and I forgive you and blah, 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 blah. None of that phony shit. But we're kind of like, okay, this is who you are. This is who I am. And at the core of it, I still love you, but I am demanding mutual respect and acceptance for who I am. Otherwise, you cannot be in my life. And it's just that simple, because we're here for a mission, a purpose. And yes, we are empathic. That comes with this whole thing, right? But at the end of the day, we're the ones that set the healthy boundaries. We're the ones that teach other people how to treat us. And other people need to know where we stand and that we're serious about this. And we're no longer going to hide who we are to make you comfortable. Because that is not what we're here for. We're here to make you uncomfortable in the darkness and the density and the lies and the manipulation, right? So this is also a time where we're really examining our excuses. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. Now I'm speaking to you practically, because a lot of what I'm trying to convey and communicate to people is that there is a practical side to spirituality. It would be nice if we could all sit on a lily pad and think good thoughts and things come to us. No, it requires action. We get the inspired thought because we asked for it, but it's up to us to take the action, no matter how small it is, no matter how insignificant you might think it is. You might not even think that the step that you're taking is related to what it is that you're trying to manifest or achieve or whatever. But if you get that guidance, just take the step and see what happens. And don't be afraid to be wrong, because that's another indicator, right? Okay, I thought I heard the voice of spirit, my spirit guides, but that wasn't it. And so now you know what it's not, right? So excuses only sound best to the people that are making them up. Because whatever you're making an excuse about, I can guarantee you that there are other people doing exactly what it is that you think it's impossible to do. Now, mind you, whatever it is that you're trying to do has to be a part of your soul mission, your life purpose, your blueprint, your Akash, whatever, right? So it can't be something too far off. But if you even have an inkling as to what it is that you're supposed to do, what it is you're supposed to have, what it is you're supposed to be, you already have met minimum requirements, okay? You might not have all the tangible things yet, but just you knowing that this is where I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed to do, you meet minimum requirements for achieving your goals, your dreams, for fulfilling your soul mission and life purpose as a light worker, okay? So this week is a good opportunity to practice honing your light working skills, right? So when you get into situations, or if you get into situations that challenge you, that trigger you, that maybe put you in a state of fear, how you have tools to use. How are you going to move out of this? You acknowledge it. I'm afraid. You don't deny it. You don't push it down. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know what's going on. But I know that my angels and guides and teachers always know. They see things from a higher perspective. Everything is divinely orchestrated. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. And you have to know that you're exactly where you need to be. If that is the case, then of course your path is laid before you. But you've got to ask. Right? And all paths lead to the light anyway, but you have to ask, what is the highest and most ideal step that I can take to move me in the right direction. Okay? Even if that means I go do something to help me to stop crying, right? That's the first step, is to get a grip, get a hold of yourself, pull yourself together, right? Allow that to happen. And then you can make a decision. And you never ever want to make decisions out of fear or out of sadness or out of desperation. Always give yourself some time. If somebody else is trying to force you to make a decision and you're feeling some type of way like that, then the answer is no, right? Because I need time to process, and you need to give yourself that time. So I'm going to offer you some tips and some cards and some crystals. Let's go ahead and start with the cards, because I thought this was very interesting. So the first card that came up, and I'm using the Angels and Ancestors deck again because I'm just so in love with this deck, and I feel like it's the energy of this deck and the messages are highly compatible with what's going on right now. This deck is all about change and transformation and growth, and telling it like it is. So the first card that I pulled up was the Shield Maiden. And the Shield Maiden is a card that her energy represents the female Viking and having a plan of attack, having something in place, right? All good warriors have a plan. All good warriors know how to create protection for themselves, right? The Shield Maiden is about creating those walls of protection, right? Protecting her clan, protecting her family. And you want to make sure that you have something written. Scripting is very powerful. I'm going to talk about that in another video that I'm doing this week. And, writing out your plan. And even if it's not a plan, writing out your script. How do you want your life to be? That's a good way of using this energy, right? Because it gives you something else to focus on besides what is, which we know does not mean anything, because that's always shifting, always changing. Have a warrior's heart, have a strategy and plan in place, because the angels will support you in moving forward. So if you have a goal, you have a vision, you have an idea as to how you want to serve humanity, take some time to sit down, write out a plan, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is you think needs to be in place for you to make this happen, write it down. I actually pulled another card too. It kind of popped out like these cards do. And this is the Wise One. And the Wise One, she actually represents the crone in pagan religions, Wiccan religions. And you can look in her face and see that she's been through a lot of challenges and overcome a lot of obstacles. And this wisdom that we have that's deep within our soul is not something that we can get from the outside world, okay? This is wisdom that we've accrued over lifetimes, and we have an opportunity now to tap into that wisdom for real practical, real-time problem solving, dissolving of old patterns and situations and blockages, right? And when we're dealing with this kind of energy of change and transformation, it's easy to get overwhelmed and bored. And so with this Wise One card, you're being asked to grow within your current situation, making sure that you're not wasting any time, right? Because we know it's an illusion, but it's still something that we have to experience on this third dimensional plane. So use your time wisely. Okay, I like Arnold Schwarzenegger's breakdown. You sleep 6 hours, and he says, no, some people are like, oh, I need 8. He suggests you sleep a little faster. Okay, so you've got 18 hours left in the day. You've got time to eat with your family, go to work. That's 8 hours. So you've got 10 hours out of your day. You eat with your family. That's 3 hours, 9, 8, 7. And then, let's add in another 2 hours just for miscellaneous shit. So you've got 5 hours, 4 hours, okay, out of the day where you can learn a new skill, work on your business, plans, right? Or do the spring cleaning that I was talking to you about. So we all have time. It's our way of carving up the oneness. That's how I see time, okay? So I'm going to offer you 3 tips to navigate this energy. So the first tip I'm going to offer you is that we must remember that we have to do our part in the co-creation process. We want something to manifest, we ask for it. So that means our part, keeping our thoughts focused, using affirmations and visualizations, and following the guidance as directed. That is our work, those three things. So remember to do those things. Do not focus on whatever the situation is that you don't want in your life. You focus on what it is that you want to create, what it is that you need, and allow the angels and guides and the invisible help to bring it to you. The second tip is to get rest when needed, because we need to rest when we're integrating these newer energies, all these energies coming to the planet. So take naps, watch something funny, treat yourself, but make sure that you're finding time to relax and to go within every single day. Every single day right now. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, but we have to really put our nose to the grindstone, spiritually speaking, and do this internal work, because we have a lot of energy available to us and we can direct it in the way that we want to. Even if it's presenting us with challenges, we still have that power, right? And the third tip, as I mentioned earlier and throughout this video, is spring cleaning. Clean up. Right? That's going to definitely change your vibration. You might not want to do it in the moment, but when your environment is clean, you're going to be able to usher in more positive energy. So just set that timer, 30 minutes or whatever you can tolerate, and focus on that one area and get it done, right? So let's move on to the crystals. I'm going to offer you 3 crystals that you can work with, and use the crystals in the way that resonates with you the most. Meditation, pocket stones, jewelry. Just make sure that you're saging your crystals or running them under cold water if they are able to tolerate water. I always recommend saging and just wiping them off with a rag though. So black obsidian is going to help you with that deep purging and releasing, removal of psychic smog and cords, and psychic protection. But be mindful that black obsidian has a very strong energy and it can pull you down if you're not working with it consciously, and work with it a little bit at a time, right? Fire agate is another good one, because fire agate sends negative energy back to its source. So this is a good one for empaths, or if you're dealing with an acute psychic attack, i.e. something's messing with you at night that you know is not, it doesn't feel good, it's that the energy doesn't feel good, you can send it back. Or if you know somebody is sending you negative energy, you can send it back to its source. It'll help you to manifest through action. So if you're unclear about the steps that you need to take, you can use fire agate to help you figure out what that is, right? And fire agate is also going to help dissolve blocks of all kinds, artistic blocks, writer's blocks, blocks to manifestation. So I love fire agate. I work with it a lot. And the last crystal is rose quartz. Rose quartz is all about self-love and inner child healing and beauty, but rose quartz has a very lovely vibration. So if you know that you're going to be in an environment where people are maybe not as awake, not as aligned, like on a subway or in a meeting, or just somewhere where there's a lot of density, you can wear rose quartz and it'll raise the vibration, because quartz is an amplifier. So these 3 crystals will help you to kind of harness this energy, to focus the energy, but use any divination tool, right? Whatever works for you. So I hope this energy update was helpful for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and take care of yourselves this week, and decide how you are going to allow your energy to be distributed. What are you going to finance with your energy? It's your choice, okay? Have a wonderful day. Namaste.